I never seemed to fit in. I was the guy that mingled with everybody, not knowing where I found myself, not knowing the group that I belonged to. I tried sports, I didn't cut it, you know. The only thing that I was good at when I started drugs was getting the drugs, getting rid of those drugs, and acquiring more.
I had a problem with meth,
alcohol,
pot,
crack cocaine,
methamphetamine,
prescription pain medication.
There was a lot of drug dealing, a lot of violence in my family.
Alcoholism runs in my family.
I came from a really good family, loving family.
Grew up in a Christian home. I was in an abusive marriage.
I started getting high when I was in 7th grade.
At 12, I lost my mother to cancer and started dabbling a little bit of pot right around then.
I started out doing meth when I was about 14, 15 years old.
I started using cocaine when I was 17 years old.
I started drinking and drugging when I was 9 years old.
I was an IV meth user, on and off for 30 years.
I had a void to fill, so I just filled it with drugs, alcohol, sex, whatever.
The methamphetamine seemed to be a weekend. I was a weekend warrior with it, and that lasted for maybe a year. After that year, it was something that I had to have.
Seemed like everybody else was enjoying it. I figured I'd just join the crowd.
I couldn't control my life. It was unmanageable, and I just decided to try to run from the problem.
Lost 2 of my best friends right in my arm. It wasn't enough for me to stop using.
Most of my drinking and drug use stemmed from insecurity.
It was destroying not only myself and Jennifer, but our children, her family, my family.
He didn't spend any time with me. He was always asleep and he never really cared for me.
I had drank myself into total physical dependency.
Before I always said I loved her, but it wasn't love that I showed her.
My mom might have been drunk and I didn't know, and I didn't know what was going on.
You know, I was running my own life, you know, I was making whatever happened, and that finally came to an end.
I couldn't get out of bed unless I had a handful of pain pills. I couldn't go to sleep unless I had Xanaxes.
It just got worse and worse. I caught 4 or 5 felonies, done a lot of jail time, in and out of jail around here, tried detoxing, tried moving, didn't work for me.
I got busted for 2 different possession charges.
We both got thrown into jail in Branson.
Spending 10 months in county jail was probably my rock bottom. Ended up checking into detox because I couldn't take running anymore, and the police came and picked me up and went to prison.
I'd lost the power of choice. Alcohol had all the power over me.
I believed the lie that I was not usable anymore.
I knew I was going nowhere. I knew my life had stalled, and it was stagnant, and I was killing myself.
One day I was like, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. And I tried to get clean on my own, and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't figure out why I couldn't stop starting. I tried going to meetings and getting clean on my own, and it never worked for any amount of time.
I was in my 5th treatment center.
I've been through numerous treatment centers. I just had enough. I was so beat down and broken that I had to do something about it.
I knew that there was the next step, a place that I needed to go to continue my recovery. I knew it was essential to my life.
By the grace of God, I found this place here in Church Army.
God put someone in front of me in that treatment center that said, I know where you need to go. That's Church Army Branson.
Church Army taught me why I couldn't stop starting. They showed me why. They showed me the cycle of addiction that made perfect sense to me. That was my life up on a board.
But it was a family that I was looking for, you know, hundreds of people just like me who wanted to help me, and it was something I really needed.
We love each other here, and we show each other what's going to happen before it happens because we've lived it.
You know, I really didn't see the light, until I came to Church Army.
As soon as I found Church Army, and that's when I truly found God.
I feel like I owe my life and my recovery to God, but it's through Church Army where that connection was developed.
From the minute I walked in the doors, I just felt so welcome.
When I came to Church Army, you know, like so many, all I could tell Pastor Steve was, I'm broken and I don't know how to fix me. And so many people come to us that way.
I feel like that I'm becoming the woman that I'm supposed to be. You know, I'm not that scared little girl anymore.
And it's completely changed lives. It's getting all these people off the streets who are suffering from addiction, who are robbing, stealing, hurting themselves and other people. And it's actually changing them into something that's helping people rather than hurting them.
If we go back to where we came from, then we're not going to make it.
We're not different. We decided to take a different path at one time in our life, and now we're trying to get back on the right path.
We've had people come into the church army, get saved, get set free of their addictions, and now they're helping others to come into that same relationship.
What Church Army does is it allows you the opportunity to work through the steps first, and then if you'll just do that, you're going to grow in a relationship with Christ.
Church Army's ministry and the way they're doing things has just really come to the top of the heap, so to speak, as far as helping these folks and showing them how to break the cycle that they find themselves in.
Church Army has changed my life. It took me from a drug-addicted mom and has turned me around to a productive member of society, and I get to help others.
Through Church Army, families are reunited.
If it weren't for Church Army, we would not be a family today.
We're sitting here today in this gathering in one of the best ways to deal with the homeless problem in our community. That's called Church Army.
They looked at my heart, and that's what I was needing. That's what I was missing. That's why I was chasing here and there to find love, and that's where it was at, right there, right here.
A lot of people don't realize that inside them are the gifts the Lord has given them. And what I've seen in this community is Church Army's come in and has given them an opportunity to find those gifts and to develop. And the leadership that's taken place by people who have found their gifts to help others because they've been there is astonishing.
Church Army is real love and real, someone actually cares about you.
And Church Army is doing a great job, not with just the classic be warm and be fed, but by really caring for people, really loving people.
Yeah, we do a lot of classes. We do life skills. We do, checkbooking. We do repairing your credit. We do anger management. We do GED. We do parenting skills. And all of that is wonderful. But Church Army taught me how to be a Christian.
That drunk guy on the street corner you wouldn't look at twice. God's working through Church Army to help that one guy.
By the grace of God, there's a place like Church Army.
These people that don't have a job or don't have anything leave with the skills to take care of themselves again.
It's not going to fail because God doesn't fail.
When you support Church Army as a whole, what you're really doing is you're supporting the war against alcoholism and drug addiction, the broken homes, the broken families, the lives of people that are affected by alcoholics and drug addicts. And that's what makes a difference.
You see somebody new come through the door and they're suffering, and you help them and you feed them and you house them and you clothe them and you show them a way out. And then a month later, you look over and that person you helped is helping someone else.
Recovery can be possible. There is hope for the hopeless, like I was, that thought there was no place else to go except for to die. Church Army gave me a place to live.
I think that if you wanted to see some of the success stories at Church Army, if you were to come down and see the commencement plaques, the graduations of these people who have struggled in addiction and are now looking back a year later and seeing their lives turned around, I think that you would see what you're doing here tonight. You would see what you're supporting. You would see lives restored, families put back together, and new families started.
So many people, but yet so much love.
Where would I be without Church Army? I have to say in actuality, I'd probably be dead.